Y'all, it's no secret that America's baby boomers have reached older adult and some even elderly status. But did you know that in 2016, there were 49 million American adults aged 65 and older, and that number is expected to reach 71 million by 2030. And there are approximately 12,000 US adults turning 65 every day. Those are some pretty wild numbers, but I can definitely feel it as a geriatric physical therapist, as the patients I serve are only increasing. And in all honesty, most are experiencing pretty subpar quality of life. Why do I bring this up? What does it mean? Does it affect you? If you are in this age range, have parents who are in this age range, or if you're a healthcare worker or caregiver, you will want to stay tuned while we discuss what changes you might expect and how we can better prepare for successful and powerful aging. The truth is that with every tick of the clock, we are all aging. And aging is a privilege, but that doesn't mean it doesn't come with some unwanted, unwelcome side effects. I want to highlight that age-related changes are around 50% genetic, and the other 50% are lifestyle choices that are modifiable risk factors. There are natural changes in nearly every system in our body that occur as we age, including our respiratory, central nervous system, genitourinary, digestive, cardiovascular, our skeletal system, muscular system, and all of our sensory systems like vision and hearing. But the extent to which we see decline in different systems varies greatly, in large part because of lifestyle choices. And this is good news because it means that we have some agency over our future health. Today, we're going to zoom in on our skeletal and muscular systems. So let's talk about our bones. Literally, our skeleton, which gives us structure. And basically, we would be like a big blob without it. But we really don't ever think about our bones unless we break one or something. And then we pay attention. We reach skeletal maturity in the first 2 decades of life. And we reach peak bone density in our late 20s and early 30s. It's also important to note that bone resorption begins to exceed bone formation, leading to decreased bone density for women in their 50s and men in their 60s. It's also worth knowing that women lose more bone mass than men and are more susceptible to osteoporosis. That doesn't exempt the men, it's just more prevalent in women. You probably know where I'm going with this. The bad 4-letter F word, fall. Now, we have an entire episode coming out about falls, but the takeaway today is this. Falls can be the beginning of the end. I know that's pretty blunt, but I've seen it too many times. Fall, broken hip, decreased mobility, and so begins the downward spiral. Now, sometimes the bone breaks first. The bone breaks because of osteoporosis, causing the person to fall, and still therein lies the decreased mobility and the downward spiral. Either way, it's all heartbreaking. And I feel like there's so much we can do to get ahead of this. One of my all-time favorite patients, yes, I do have favorites, whom we'll call Shirley. She had a pretty long list of medical conditions. I mean, she had respiratory disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, but she was spunky and sarcastic, and I just loved her. And Shirley had had some falls before, but one day I learned that she had fallen in the assisted living where she lived and broken her hip. And she spent the next 2 weeks, due to some complications, in the hospital. From there, she was transferred to inpatient rehab, relatively common. She wasn't in the rehab center very long before they discovered she had pneumonia, and they had to send her right back to the hospital. In fact, had to send her to the ICU. And y'all, Shirley never came out of that ICU. I still remember my emotions the day I was told that she didn't make it. Spunky, sarcastic Shirley had succumbed to the downward spiral from a fall, layered with multiple chronic diseases, and her body just could not win that fight. That leads us to talk about bone's counterpart, muscle. Contraction of muscle is what moves our bones at the joint. They're kind of like Batman and Robin. Like, they work together to allow us to move. And just like we lose bone density as we age, we also begin losing muscle as we age, which is called sarcopenia. We lose around 10% of our muscle per decade, beginning in our 30s, if we don't do anything about it. Honestly, this is my entire professional world in a nutshell. Loss of muscle leads to increased weakness, equals functional decline. And y'all, this is significant because it impacts a person and their family in huge ways. I mean, they may no longer be really able to do a lot of caring for themselves, or ADLs, what we call activities of daily living. And decisions may even need to be made about moving to a place that can provide more assistance, which, let's be honest, that's a costly and difficult transition sometimes. So what can we do to reduce the speed at which we lose bone and muscle? Let me shout this from the rooftops, and I'm gonna make it very simple. Strength training, lifting things that challenge you, jumping, movement, and you've got to have ample protein intake to support all of this. The recommended is 1 gram of protein per ideal pound of body weight. If your ideal body weight is 150 pounds, you are striving every day to hit about 150 grams of protein. The earlier in life you implement these habits, the better, for sure. But please don't ever think it's too late to begin or too late to start again after a hiatus. So whether you are a baby boomer or the grown child of a baby boomer, your future self is counting on you to take action now. And I want to leave you with 2 incredible resources. A book called Forever Strong by Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, and another book called Unbreakable by Dr. Vonda Wright. We will link these books in the description part of our show notes. Thank you for joining me today. And if you found Healthful Connections here, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend or a loved one.